Yeah, but I really think I was really excited to develop this one. It's really what's been and really remains a very hot topic for clients. We receive a ton of inquiries with respect to Java and only seems to be growing as Oracle continues to grow their Java sales organization. So even though Java 17 was announced, it's still what I want to highlight for the audience here is it's still not necessarily feasible from what we're hearing from customers just to upgrade to Java 17.
So we want to try to bring some clarification around the questions of when Java is free, when it requires paid commercial license, and what's your organization's responsibility.
In this slide, we really start to get into the heart of the challenge customers are facing, right? So this represents, we've tried to outline here is kind of more of a common approach or sequence of activities that we've seen from Oracle. This is where we've worked with some clients that unfortunately have just shared this information, will share their server environment. In one case, we had a client that had roughly like half a dozen different server farms, and it was they had probably dozens of servers within each farm, and it was all virtualized. The good news is they didn't share with them where Java was running, but they just gave them this information. And this is where they don't really give pricing transparency either. And I highlight that because I've had clients say, look, this feels like almost like a Java shakedown. Like they're just throwing us a number here of a couple of $1 million a year. What's it based on? What do I get? What happens? It doesn't seem to be based on any of this detailed analysis to here's where you're using Java that's out of compliance. Here's where you're in compliance. We've tailored this approach. It's just more of a full gamut of saying we'll give you this unlimited license. So now we've kind of covered this Java sales approach and what Oracle is doing here. I'm going to flip it back to R1 to discuss the Java pricing.
You can see on the left-hand side, prior to January of 2019, there were 3 Java SE products who were offering Advanced Desktop, and SE Suite. As you can see on the right-hand side, this is the list pricing for processors and name user plus/desktop licensing, which is public, by the way. You can find this on Oracle's website. There's a potential risk that this Java rep could share this information with an Oracle technology sales rep or LMS, the licensing management services, at some point after you sign and pay your Java fees. So you may, by accident, trigger a technology audit from sharing the server information if Oracle feels that you don't have enough database licenses to cover your server environment. And you have to keep in mind that the cost to run a single Oracle database license on any given server is significantly higher than the cost to run Java. We just talked about what's the risk. And this slide is about the potential magnitude of that risk. This is a way to illustrate how much exposure could potentially exist and compare specifically for the same organization, the cost comparison between a Java and what it would look like for technology products.